Hi, I'm Amy Harbison. Welcome to Seniors Today, a monthly program produced by the Commission on Aging. The pandemic has made it very challenging for those financially burdened older adults who are renting in Montgomery County. Today, we welcome Frank DeMarais, Deputy Director, Affordable Housing for the Department of Housing and Community Affairs, who will share some of the challenges, but also some of the available resources to older adults who are renting in the county. Thank you so much for joining us today, Frank.
Well, thank you, Amy.
So, what are the most immediate issues and concerns for older renters, particularly low-income older renters?
Concerns are the shared concerns of all of our rental community, which is that with the pandemic, with the income loss and the higher costs that people have experienced, they're having trouble maintaining their rent. And we believe that as many as 20,000 county residents are having trouble maintaining or behind on their rent, and that we need to continue to support them, understanding what their options are, and helping them to avoid falling further behind and facing eviction.
And it's particularly bad during this COVID crisis. I understand that there's been a moratorium on evictions. Can you say a little bit more about what's been going on in this landscape?
With the COVID emergency declared by the governor in March, the governor implemented a restriction on evictions for any household that could demonstrate that they'd had income loss due to COVID impact, either loss of job or higher costs or requirements for childcare. And this is a eviction prevention when you go to court. So it is a case specific action, not much you can do before you get called to court on that. But across the county, we have a variety of resources, including rental assistance payments are available. And it's critical for anyone with concerns about this to understand the county and the state have stepped up using generally federal money to make financial assistance and counseling available to any tenant that has any concerns, whether or not it's eviction related.
And what happens if someone is called to court? I mean, that sounds very intimidating to the average person. How are they helped in the process?
Well, the fundamentals are anyone who is 1 month behind on their rent can be summoned. The landlord can sue to possess the property. If anyone receives a notice of a summons, a notice of court appointment, there's three things that they should do. First, they should contact the county, our Office of Landlord Tenant Affairs, and or the nonprofits and Maryland Legal Aid that are available to help them understand that. They need to understand the process. Then they need to prepare, and they absolutely should understand these protections available against eviction if you can demonstrate income loss, but only if you can demonstrate income loss. And then the key thing is to show up at court. And the court will hear different arguments and defenses that cannot be made unless the person shows up. But it's very important to know what your options are and be prepared, and then to attend. It can be very scary, but the more you learn early, the better off you'll be able to handle it.
Absolutely. What if people can't demonstrate that they lost income, but they have under hardship? What do they do?
The protections that are available are from the governor's executive order, very specifically demonstrated income loss. If someone has not had a demonstrated income loss in the COVID emergency period, then the counseling, Maryland Legal Aid will help them understand how to work with their landlord. We do have financial assistance that could help to bridge some of the gap. We're hoping that our landlords are entering into payment agreements and working with their tenants. In this period, landlords do not want to evict. It's very costly, and they end up with a vacant unit at a very difficult time. So there are ways to work with your landlord, but the eviction prevention is only there if you have a loss of income from COVID. It also does not protect if your lease expires. And if you get a notice to vacate, 60 days notice to vacate at the expiration of your lease, and you're unable to leave, the landlord can sue for tenant holding over action, and evictions are occurring for tenants who are unable to relocate. So it's a difficult time with the best information, again, available through the county's website and through our Office of Landlord Tenant Affairs. And during COVID, the county is absolutely open to support. We've extended additional funds for nonprofits, Maryland Legal Aid, and others to really support. But it's a very difficult path to navigate.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your nonprofit partners. Who do you work with, and how can the general public tap in?
The best resource right now is our county website, montgomerycountymd.gov/renters. So montgomerycountymd.gov/renters has a list of all the organizations that are supporting tenants. We have the Renters Alliance, Housing Initiative Partnership, Latino Economic Development Corp., the CASA organization, the Maryland Legal Aid, and Maryland Legal Aid is available at the courthouse and does represent anyone who has an emergency eviction action against them.
What do we most want to communicate to people, Frank, during this time, for those people that are without a job right now or falling behind? What should they know?
Well, again, the very, very important first step is to get information. And our website's a good place to go. The 311 General County Information Line. Anyone with rent concerns can call 311, ask for information about rental assistance, ask for landlord-tenant affairs. If they have an emergency, they can ask for housing stabilization at 311. They should get information. They should know that they're not alone. They should know there is a process. There are rules and structures and things that landlords have to do. You cannot be evicted without a court order. Your landlord can write you all kinds of letters, but until the court order says that you will be evicted, you are protected. The county has funds available to help offset some of this. And in the event that people are going to lose their homes, the county does have support to help people transition and relocate. So our focus is first, stop the evictions, work with the landlords, work something out. And secondly, to assist households, help people understand, when they have to or when they need to relocate, what kind of assistance is available from the county.
Terrific. Any other final words? Do we think this moratorium will hold as COVID is still here for the foreseeable future?
As long as the governor has a state of emergency, and we have no indications that that's going to be lifted in the next 2 or 3 months, this governor's protection for failure to pay rent evictions will remain. But the day he lists that eviction, anyone who had gone through court and received protection will lose that protection all at once. So there's a lot of concern about that, but it will take some time. Anyone who heard about the federal protection that was issued by the CDC, that is no longer a factor in Maryland. The courts actually are not hearing failure to pay rent cases in the month of December through the end of December. So there are no judgments being issued until cases are restarted in January. It will take some time for them to catch up. They had this shut down earlier this year, reopened at the end of August, and then shut down again in the middle of November. So there is a time for our tenants to understand their rights, prepare, and particularly to work with the landlord, work with our nonprofits to help with counseling, workout plans. There's not going to be enough money to pay everybody's rent, but there are ways to work through this.
Terrific. Well, Frank, thank you so much. I think you have given really important information for a lot of people out there. And thank you for joining us today. And that's it for Seniors Today. You can access a lot of information for seniors by going to our senior website at montgomerycountymd.gov/seniors, or you can call the Senior Resource Line at 240-777-3000. Thanks so much for joining us on Seniors Today.